This is the DBM50 5-channel marine amplifier. Now we took the sound of our best-selling series of DB car amps and added marine-grade components and parts to ensure that this amp will last a lifetime. The DBM50 uses Class AB technology for channels 1 through 4 and Class D technology for the sub-channel 5, and outputs 980 watts for all of the 5 channels, with channels 1 through 4 outputting 120 watts at 2 ohms and channel 5 outputting 500 watts at 2 ohms, or channels 1 through 4 outputting 80 watts at 4 ohms, while channel 5 outputs 300 watts at 4 ohms. The amp comes with a bass remote knob that plugs into the amplifier and gives you the flexibility to control the level from somewhere more convenient, like the hull or dash of your boat. Also included is a PA microphone that you can plug into the amp and basically make any announcements or just talk through your system and your speakers. The amp itself has a sleek design with a nice gray metal sheen, and when you run power to the amp, this Rockville logo illuminates. Now we went to extreme lengths to make this amp truly marine ready. The PCB board is conformal coated with a waterproof glue that is painted on to protect the circuitry. The heatsink, including the bottom plate, is made of aluminum, which is rust proof, and the end panels and even the internal mounting screws and all of the hardware is made from stainless steel, which is also rust proof. We then added silicone covers on either side, which will ensure that none of the terminals will get water in them. On this side of the amp, we have our power, ground, and remote line terminals. We have 3 fuses of 40 amps each, and over here we have our speaker wire terminals. Now you can see the silk screening shows that you can bridge channels 1 and 2 together, or channels 3 and 4 together. And channel 5 is the dedicated subwoofer channel. So depending on your setup, you can either bridge channels together or use them as individual channels. There are a ton of configuration options because you can bridge 2 channels of the amp or plug 2 speakers into any single channel. Now on the other side over here, we have our RCA inputs for channels 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then on the other side over here, we have our channel 5 RCA input, which is for our subwoofer. And over here, we have our input mode switch, which has 3 positions: 2 channel, 4 channel, and 5 channel. This means if you only have one set of RCA outputs on your receiver, you can run this in 2 channel mode and still have a 5 channel amp to connect all of your speakers and subs to. If you have 2 pairs of preamp outputs on your head unit or receiver, you can run the amp in 4 channel input mode, and if you have a dedicated subwoofer RCA output on your head unit, you can select the 5 channel input mode for all of your RCA connections. Now over here are the controls for channels 1 and 2, which is a level knob, a high pass filter, and the crossover switch, which can be set to either high pass or full range mode. Channels 3 and 4 has a level knob, a high pass filter, and then the crossover switch, which has 3 settings: high pass, full range, or low pass, and this is followed by the low pass filter knob. Now going back to the crossovers, between channels 1 through 4, they can all play in full range mode where no frequencies will be filtered out, or in high pass filter mode, where you are only filtering out some of the lower frequencies. But now channels 3 and 4 gives you an additional low pass crossover setting, and what's really cool about the low pass filter is you can use it to create a band pass filter. So if you set the crossover to low pass mode for channels 3 and 4, you can then set the high pass filter and the low pass filter, and the range in between is what you will hear. This is really useful if you want to create a subsonic filter to target really low lows, or if you're doing something like using mid-range speakers on these channels and you want to create a certain frequency range that they can play out. And then channel 5 is our dedicated subwoofer channel, and that features a low pass filter to filter out higher frequencies, and a subsonic filter, which you would want to use if you're using a subwoofer in a vented enclosure, or if you just want to filter out those really low frequencies. It also has a level knob and a bass equalizer, which will boost the low end up to 12 dB. Now because of all the crossover settings we have on the DBM50, this amp is ideal for subwoofers, either sealed or vented, full range speakers, tweeters, mid-range speakers, or even combinations of all different types of speakers. For example, on channels 1 and 2, you can set the crossover to full mode and have 4 full range speakers playing from there. Then on channels 3 and 4, you can use the bandpass feature and have 8 mid-range speakers. And then finally on channel 5, you can have your subwoofer using the low pass filter. We made this graphic so you can see a list of popular configurations that you can use with this amp. this amp is capable of supporting almost any setup you can think of, but you're probably wondering what this amp can actually do, so let's go to a demo that we have set up.
What's up guys? So as you can see, I have my DBM50 all set up to my WB65K LED speakers and my sub on the floor. I also have my phone connected to the amp through the RCA inputs. So I'm gonna play some music for you guys to show you what this amp can do. Here we go. Oh my gosh! So much power coming out of the speakers, out of the sub, Now the amp also comes with this microphone we can plug right in to make announcements. So if I go to press the button, you'll hear the music cut out, so you hear my voice nice and clearly through the speakers. And as soon as I take my finger off the button, you hear the music come right back in. So you guys just heard what this amp can do with our current setup. But the thing is, I only used 4 out of the 5 channels available on the amp, so we have 1 more to use to expand our setup and get even louder.
So from that demo, you just saw how powerful the DBM50 is. So if you're looking for a powerful, sleek, and versatile 5-channel marine amplifier for your setup, look no further than the DBM50 from Rockville.